Hey guys, it's CharyJay and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a review of the Hourglass Ambient Strobe Lighting Blush Palette. And if you guys watched my video back in December, I think it was my accessory haul or something, or maybe it was a vlog. I don't know what video it was, to be honest, but I mentioned that I wanted this palette and the NARS Narcissist Blush Palette for my birthday, and my friends came through. And one of my friends gave me a gift card to Sephora, and I immediately purchased this on the website. It's so freaking beautiful. I mean, look at this. I'll give you guys a close-up. It is a gorgeous palette. I've always loved Hourglass from the start, I guess, like my introduction to the brand, just because it's a beautiful brand. Like the beautiful blushes, they come in these gorgeous cases. I don't like the fact that it's fingerprinty, like you touch it and you can see fingerprints, but it's just beautiful. And I just always wanted to like start collecting my blushes in Hourglass, because I don't think, I could be wrong, but I don't think that their shades of like foundation and concealer and stuff like that works for my skin tone. If they have included more colors, then of course I would love to check them out. But when I went to a local Sephora when I first got introduced to the brand, they were just like, yeah, I don't know if like their shades will, you know, match your skin tone. So I was like, okay, that's cool. But I just always loved the look of Hourglass and always wanted to be more familiar with the brand. So even though I love the look of the brand, I was always really upset because when they came out with these palettes, I think they had the ambient lighting palette. You can see, like you can look at it and tell, no go. Like if you are not a fair-skinned complexion, then you just might as well keep it moving, because you are not going to be able to use that palette. So they came out with one, I think 2 years ago, then they came out with one last year, and it was basically the same thing, all unusable shades for me. But then they came out with this palette, I think around December they introduced it. I think it's like for the spring or something. And I was like, oh my god, a palette that I can actually use, because it's a blush palette. And for the most, you know, usually we can get away, like dark skinned girls can get away with using blushes regardless of, well, not always, but you can usually get away with getting a blush. Like blushes for the most part don't really go according to skin tone. Like Dolly Pink, for instance, for MAC Dolly's Pink, a lot of people say, oh, you know, dark skinned girls can't use that. But you can. It just depends on, you know, how much of it you use, because Dolly Pink to me is beautiful. Blush. So I got this blush palette. It has 3 blushes in this palette. It's the Incandescent Electra, Brilliant Nude, and Euphoric Fusion. So what I'm going to do is swatch these shades for you, and I'm going to just show you guys what it looks like on camera and also with a flash, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about how I like this palette. So as you can see, most of the shades are very shimmery. And that was one thing that I was really surprised about. I mean, I know that if you look at them, they look very shimmery, but it doesn't really pick up that much color. And I honestly think if you wanted to, you could use this more of a highlight palette with just like a little bit of color. But I didn't buy this for the highlighting nature of it all. I bought this for blush, so I wasn't really happy about that. But I was just really disappointed that it didn't have a lot of pigment to it. Even the Euphoric Fusion, it did have slight pigment, but not enough for me. And unfortunately, I think this is going to be the outcome of all of Hourglass blushes. I'm not exactly sure because I only purchased one other one, and that was in Diffused Heat. I actually bought that in, I think when they were having their VIB sale, and I was really disappointed with that one as well. This was way before I bought this palette, but I had to take that back because it didn't give much color payoff. And again, it was very shimmery, but it did have more color payoff than any of these 3 blushes in this palette. But I still took it back because, I mean, this is not a cheap palette, and Hourglass itself is not a cheap brand. It's up there. I think it's more expensive than NARS, and NARS is like my go-to when it comes to blushes. Like, I'm trying to have all the blushes in the NARS collection, but it's a little too pricey. Well, it's not worth the bang, okay? It's not worth the bang of the buck, bang for your buck. It's just not worth it. I feel like if you are fair skinned, then maybe you like it. I've read reviews and they said that this is more so if you're trying to have a natural look. But again, it's so shimmery that I don't see where that natural look comes through. Unless you just tap once and just swipe it once like that, then maybe you can get a natural finish with this. I just don't see how this will work. And again, I was very disappointed because I love the look of Hourglass, but it just doesn't work for me. I would love to see if another dark-skinned woman on YouTube loved this palette and she was able to use it. If you have a review that you know of, that somebody who looked like me in the skin complexion department, please drop it down below so I can see how they use this to their benefit. But this just didn't work for me, so I'm taking it back. But that's it. Disappointed, but I'm glad I tried it out. I'm going to go back to Sephora and see if Hourglass does have some shades that could work for me, because I would, you know, I would love to be surprised. And I you know, whatever. I'm not really tripping this year on brands that doesn't have any shades in their department for me, because there's so many black-owned brands that are doing it when it comes to makeup this year, and that's where I'm willing and focused on spending my money. Like, I'm not gonna be buying brands that I can just buy 1 or 2 things because the shades are just not correct. Like, I ain't doing that this year in 2017. So anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you did by giving me a thumbs up. And subscribe if you haven't. I mean, people are like, you should tell people to subscribe because they don't realize. So if you haven't subscribed, subscribe so you can check out my videos. Even though YouTube ain't putting them in the subscription box anyway. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. By the way, I just got Jackie's LeBron's, is it LeBron's James or just LeBron's highlighter in the mail? I just got it this morning. I'm so excited to try it. And congrats, Jackie, on 1 million. I love her. Okay, let me stop saying it in this video. Okay.